Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Joslynn VanDerslice. I'm the Water Resource Manager for Upper Elkhorn. As Wade said, the Lower Niobrara, the Upper Elkhorn, and then also the Lewis and Clark and the Lower Elkhorn are part of the Bazile area. And last April, actually, we did a survey, and what we were looking at is trying to figure out what the perceptions were that the producers in the area already had, how they're currently working their land, and then kind of moving forward, just kind of seeing where they're at, how they're using their land. So in April 2018, we ended up sending out 900 surveys, and that's quite a lot. And we got 271 back, which it doesn't sound like a whole lot, but when you consider it's 32%, and we were going through this, people like, if you get 10% back, you're doing good. If you're doing 20% back, you're doing good. So we were really happy with 32%. It came down to about 98 landowners and 173 operators. And what we ended up doing is we sent an initial letter out that had the survey included in it and said why we're doing this, what kind of we're looking for. We sent a reminder postcard out to them, and then we also sent out another letter that included an extended deadline so we could get more participation. And then we put together a survey summary for them and sent that out as well, just to show them the information that we collected. So these are basically what we're going to have as the answers from some of the questions we asked them. So we were asking them about nitrogen fertilizer over application. So 81% indicated they thought nitrogen fertilizer and over application of nitrogen was causing the high nitrate levels in the groundwater. As an average concern for the nitrate levels, we did a 1 to 5 scale, and there was an average concern of 3.7. We asked about split applying nitrogen. 87% responded that they split apply nitrogen. Average application was 3.1, but the most common number we got was 2. That was something that was kind of news to us. We talk about split application a lot, and then we get back and the most common used in that area is just 2. Wade mentioned the UNL algorithm. 52% of operators had confidence in the algorithm for recommending fertilizer application rate, and 31% of operators said they're not familiar with it. We looked at what kind of crops that these producers included in their rotations. 95% included corn, 93% had soybeans, 40% alfalfa, and then there was other crops that included oats, grass, wheat, pasture, rye, and then oats being the most common. And 51% of producers had a corn bean rotation. Kind of to go with this too, between the last two slides here, we asked also who determines the nitrogen application, and 17% of our producers indicated that just their crop consultant or fertilizer dealer only make their recommendations, and at 42% of the time that they're included with their crop consultant in there. We looked at typical yield and nitrogen rate for corn. We split it up into irrigated and dry land. So average typical yield was 230 for irrigated corn, and the average nitrogen application rate was 208 pounds per acre, and then the dry land was 146 and 127. And 81% of the operators in the area include irrigated acres, 80% include dry land, and then also just a couple added on there. 53% include pasture acres, and 57% include livestock of some sort, so cattle, swine. We asked about cover crops. Cover crops is a big push right now in the area. 51% of operators do not plant cover crops at the time. Of those ones that do, 76% planted single species, and 24% were multiple species. Or multi-species. This is just the other graph. So this first graph here shows the cover crop use. If they're using it, how many acres they have. We did over 50% or under 50%. And then this looks at the single species versus the multi-species. Kind of to end on a kind of more of a good note here, we were asked about improving nitrogen efficiency, how many were interested in doing so. And we got 74% of the operators were interested in doing this. And the most common ways they were interested in looking at were variable rate application, nitrogen stabilizers, slow release nitrogen, and then nitrogen inhibitors. This is the cover of the survey report we put together, and we actually brought copies here. The Bazile area does have a booth out here, so we have both this survey and then also a kind of information packet kind of about the Bazile. It's a 6-page packet. We also do have a full survey result, and these are all available on Lewis and Clark's, Lower Niobrara, Upper Elkhorn, or you can get in contact with any of the people involved in Bazile, and we can get it to you.